It got cut off a little early, but we almost done. So where was I at? Because his life so lacks it. The siren does not have to worry about finding the right victim. Her magic works on one and all. First and furthermost, a siren must distinguish herself from other women. She is by nature a rare thing. Mythic, only one to a group. She is also a valuable prize to be wrested away from other men. So first and foremost, a siren must distinguish herself from other women. She is by nature a rare thing. Mythic, only one to a group. She is also a valuable prize to be wrested away from other men. Cleopatra made herself different through her sense of high drama. The Empress Josephine Bonaparte's device was her extreme Lagrangianess, I don't know, extreme Lagrangianess. Marilyn Monroe's was her little girl quality. Physicality offers the best opportunities here, since a siren is preeminently a sight to behold, a highly feminine and sexual presence, even to the point of caricature, will quickly differentiate you. Since most women lack the confidence to project such an image. And that's what'll give you away. A highly feminine sexual presence. Even to the point of a caricature. Once the siren has made herself stand out from others, she must have two other critical qualities. The ability to get the male to pursue her so feverishly that he loses control, and a touch of the dangerous. Danger is surprisingly seductive. To get the male to pursue you is relatively simple. A highly sexual presence will do this quite well, but you must not resemble a courtesan or whore, whom the male may pursue only to quickly lose interest in her. Alright, but you must not resemble a courtesan or a whore, whom the male may pursue only to quickly lose interest in her. Instead, you are slightly elusive and distant, a fantasy come to life. During the Renaissance, the great sirens, such as Tulia de Argana would act and look like Grecian goddesses, the fantasy of the day. Today, you might model yourself on a film goddess, anything that seems larger than life, even awe-inspiring. These qualities will make a man chase you vehemently, and the more he chases, the more he will feel that he is acting on his own initiative. This is an excellent way of disguising how deeply you are manipulating him. The notion of danger, challenge, sometimes death might seem outdated, but danger is critical in seduction. It adds emotional spice, and is particularly appealing to men today, who are normally so rational and repressed. Danger is present in the original myth of the siren. In Homer's Odyssey, the hero Odysseus must sail by the rocks where the sirens, strange female creatures, sing and beckon sailors to their destruction. They sing of the glories of the past, of a world like childhood without responsibilities, a world of pure pleasure. Their voices are like water, liquid and inviting. Sailors will leap into the water to join them and drown. Or distracted and entranced, they will steer their ship into the rocks to protect his sailors from the sirens. Or Odysseus has their ears filled with wax, He himself is tied to the mast, so he can both hear the sirens and live to tell of it. A strange desire, since the thrill of the sirens is giving in to the temptation to follow them. Damn. Well, these was tripping. He wanted to live to tell the tale. He gave everybody else wax for their ears. That's deep. But that's how a woman to get you seen. Childhood, taking away all your pain problems. Just as the ancient sailors had to row and steer. Just as the ancient sailors had to row and steer, ignoring all distractions. A man today must work and follow a straight path in life. The call of something dangerous, emotional, unknown is all the more powerful because it is so forbidden. Think of the victims of the great sirens of history. Paris causes a war for the sake of Helen of Troy. Caesar risks an empire, and Anthony loses his power and his life for Cleopatra. Napoleon becomes a laughingstock over Josephine. Damn, Napoleon becomes a laughingstock over Josephine. Who is Josephine? DiMaggio never gets over Maryland, and Arthur Miller can't write for years. Damn. A man is often ruined by a siren, yet cannot tear himself away. Many powerful men have a majestic streak. An element of danger is easy to hint at and will enhance your other siren characteristics. The touch of madness in Maryland, for example, that pull a man in. Sirens are often fantastically irrational, which is immensely attractive to men who are oppressed by their own reasonableness. An element of fear is also critical. Keeping a man at a proper distance creates respect so that he doesn't get close enough to see through you or notice your weaker qualities. Create such fear by suddenly changing your moods, keeping the man off balance, occasionally intimidating him with capricious behavior. Don't fall for my dudes. They're hot, cold, turning on, or she mad out of nowhere for no reason. It's a game. They playing on you. She playing on you with that. She happy, then she mad. Trying to get you to fall, brother. But then women, you know how to play the game right. Listen to this. Do your thing. The most important element for an inspiring siren is always the physical. The siren's main instrument of power. Physical qualities, a scent, a heightened femininity, evoked through makeup or through elaborate or seductive clothing, act all the more powerfully on men because they have no meaning. In their immediacy, they bypass rational processes, having the same effect that a decoy has on an animal, or the movement of a cape on a bull. The proper siren appearance is often confused with physical beauty, particularly the face, but a beautiful face does not a siren make. Instead, it creates too much distance and coldness. Neither Cleopatra nor Marilyn Monroe, the two greatest sirens in history, were known for their beauty, for their beautiful faces. Although a smile and an inviting look are infinitely seductive, they must never dominate your appearance. They are too obvious and direct. The siren must stimulate a generalized desire, and the best way to do this is by creating an overall impression that is both distracting and alluring. It is not one particular trait, but a combination of qualities. Damn. Combination of qualities. These are the qualities we're about to go to. Damn, that's deep. Marilyn Monroe's pretty as hell. But I guess that ain't what she most known for her face beauty. I guess overall, I don't know. That's deep. That's crazy. So beautiful face is not all it takes. So we got the first quality, the voice. Clearly, a critical quality, as the legend indicates. The siren's voice has an immediate animal presence with incredible suggestive power. Perhaps that power is regressive, recalling the ability of the mother's voice to calm or excite her child even before the child understood what she was saying. The siren must have an insinuating voice that hints at the erotic more often subliminally than overtly. Almost everyone who met Cleopatra commented on her delightful, sweet-sounding voice, which had a mesmerizing quality. The Empress Josephine, one of the great seductresses of the late 18th century, had a languorous voice that men found exotic and suggestive of her Creole origins. Marilyn Monroe was born with a breathy, childlike voice, but she learned how to lower it to make it truly seductive. Lauren Bacall's voice is naturally low. Its seductive power comes from its slow, suggestive delivery. The siren never speaks quickly, aggressively, or at a high pitch. Her voice is calm and unheard, as if she had never quite woken up or left her bed. Damn, that's like Beyonce's voice. That's how Beyonce, Alicia Keys, and them trying to talk. That low, breathly, yeah, oh, okay, no, I'll try like that and shit. Okay. Body and adornment. This is the next quality. Body and adornment. The voice must lull, the body and its adornment must dazzle. It is with her clothes that the siren aims to create the goddess effect that Baudelaire described in his essay in praise of makeup. Woman is well within her rights, and indeed she is accomplishing that kind of duty and striving to appear magical and supernatural. She must astonish and bewitch an idol. She must adorn herself with gold in order to be adored. She must borrow from all of the arts in order to raise herself above nature, the better to subjugate hearts and stir souls. A siren who was a genius of clothes and adornment was Pauline Bonaparte, sister of Napoleon. Pauline consciously strove for a goddess effect, fashioning hair, makeup, and clothes to evoke the look and air of Venus, the goddess of love. No one in history could boast a more extensive and elaborate wardrobe. Pauline's entrance at a ball in 1798 created an astounding effect. She asked the hostess, Madame Permon, if she could dress at her house, so no one would see her clothes as she came in. When she came down the stairs, everyone stopped, dead in stunned silence. She wore the headdress of a Bachanti, clusters of gold grapes interlaced in her hair, which was done up in the Greek style. Her Greek tunic, with its gold embroidered hem, showed off her goddess-like figure. Below her breast was a girdle of burnished gold, held by a magnificent jewel. No words can convey the loveliness of her appearance, wrote the Duchess Diabrantis. The very room grew brighter as she entered. The whole ensemble was so harmonious that her appearance was greeted with a buzz of admiration, which continued with utter disregard of all the other women. Damn. The key. Everything must dazzle, but must also be harmonious, so that no single ornament draws attention. Your presence must be charged, larger than life, a fancy come true. Ornament is used to cast a spell and distract. The siren can also use clothing to hint at the sexual, at times overtly, but more often by suggesting it rather than screaming it. That will make you seem manipulative. Related to this is the notion of selective disclosure, the revealing of only a part of the body, but a part that will excite and stir the imagination. In the late 16th century, Marguerite de Valois, Marguerite de Valois, the infamous daughter of Queen Catherine de Medici of France, was one of the first women ever to incorporate the collegiate in her wardrobe, simply because she had the most beautiful breasts in the realm. For Josephine Bonaparte, it was her arms, which she carefully always left bare. Movement and demeanor. In the 5th century BC, King Cao Xin chose the Chinese siren Hissy Shi from among all of the women of his realm to seduce and destroy his rival Fu Shai, king of Wu. For this purpose, he had the young woman instructed in the arts of seduction. Most important of these was movement, how to move gracefully and suggestively. She learned to give the impression of floating across the floor in her court robes. When she was finally unleashed on Fu Shai, he quickly fell under her spell. She walked and moved like no one he had ever seen. He became obsessed with her tremulous presence, her manner, and nonchalant air. Fu Shai fell so deeply in love that he let his kingdom fall to pieces, allowing Cao Xin to march in and conquer it without a fight. The siren moves gracefully and unhurriedly. The proper gestures, movement, and demeanor for a siren are like the proper voice. They hint at something exciting, stirring desire without being obvious. Your air must be languorous, as if you had all the time in the world for love and pleasure. Your gestures must have a certain ambiguity, suggesting something both innocent and erotic. Anything that cannot immediately be understood is supremely seductive, and all of the more so if it permeates your manner. Dangers. These are the dangers of a siren. No matter how enlightened the age, no woman can maintain the image of being devoted to pleasure completely comfortably. And no matter how hard she tries to distance herself from it, the taint of being easy always follows the siren. Cleopatra was hated in Rome as the Egyptian whore. That hatred eventually led to her downfall, as Octavius and the Roman army sought to expiate the stain on Roman manhood that she came to represent. Even so, men are often forgiving when it comes to the siren's reputation, but danger often lies in the envy she stirs up amongst other women. Much of Rome's hatred for Cleopatra originated in the resentment she provoked among the city's stern matrons. By playing up her innocence, by making herself seem the victim of male desire, the siren can somewhat blunt the effects of feminine envy. But on the whole, there is little she can do. Her power comes from her effect on men, and she must learn to accept or ignore the envy of other women. Finally, the intense attention that the siren attracts can prove irritating and worse. Sometimes she will pine for relief from it. Sometimes, too, she will want to attract an attention that is not sexual. Also, unfortunately, physical beauty fades. Although the siren effect depends on a beautiful face, but on an overall impression. Past a certain age, that impression gets hard to project. Both of these factors contributed to the suicide of Marilyn Monroe. It takes a genius on the level of Madame Pompadour, the Siren mistress of King Louis XV, to make the transition into the role of the spirited older woman who continues to seduce with her non-physical charms. Cleopatra has such an intellect, and had she lived long enough, she would have remained a potent seductress for many years. The siren must prepare for age by paying attention early on to the more psychological, less physical forms of coquetry that then continue to bring her power once her beauty starts to fade. Damn, that was deep. All right, let's read the purpose. Let's get the purpose. Let's read the purpose. Let's read the purpose. There's a lot of purpose. There's a lot of purpose. Okay. So let's go. So the purpose, we on the purpose. In the meantime, our good ship, with that perfect wind to drive her fast, approached the Siren's Isle. But now the breeze dropped, some power lulled the waves, and a breathless calm set in. Rising from their seats, my men drew in the sail and threw it into the hold. They sat down at the oars and churned the water, white with their blades of polished pine. Meanwhile, I took a large round of wax, cut it up small with my sword, and kneaded it into pieces with the strength of my fingers. The wax soon yielded to my vigorous treatment and grew warm, for I had the rays of my Lord, the sun, to help me. I took each of my men in turn and plugged their ears with it. They then made me a prisoner on my ship by binding me hand and foot, standing me up by the step of the mast, and tying the rope's ends to the mast itself. This done, they sat down once more and struck the gray water with their oars. We made good progress and had just come within call of the shore when the sirens became aware that a ship was swiftly bearing down upon them, and broke into their liquid song. Draw near, they sang, illustrious Odysseus, flower of arcane chivalry, and bring your ship to rest, so that you may hear our voices. No seaman ever sailed his black ship past this spot without listening to the sweet tones that flow from our lips. The lovely voices came to me across the water, and my heart was filled with such a longing to listen that with nod and frown, I signed to my men to set me free. Damn. Odysseus was losing his mind, them sirens got to him. Sheesh. The charm of Cleopatra's presence was irresistible, and there was an attraction in her person, and talk together with a particular force of character which pervaded her every word and action, and laid all who associated with her under a spell. It was a delight merely to hear the sound of her voice, with which, like an instrument of many strings, she could pass from one language to another. Damn. Her voice was that cold. She just talked so good. The immediate attraction of a song, a voice, or scent. The attraction of the panther with its perfumed scent. According to ancients, the panther is the only animal who emits a perfumed odor. It uses the scent to draw and capture its victims. But what is it that seduces innocent? What is it in the song of the sirens that seduces us, or in the beauty of a face, in the depths of an abyss? Seduction lies in the annulment of signs and their meaning, and pure appearance. The eyes that seduce have no meaning. They end in the gaze as the face with makeup ends in only pure appearance. The scent of the panther is also a meaningless message, and behind the message, the panther is invisible, as is the woman beneath her makeup. The sirens, too, remained unseen. The enchantment lies in what is hidden. Damn. We're dazzled by feminine adornment, by the surface, all gold and jewels. So little of what we observe is the girl herself. And where, you may ask, amid such plenty, can our object of passion be found? The eyes deceived by love's smart camouflage. Whoo, that's deep. We're dazzled by feminine adornment, by the surface, all gold and jewels. So little of what we observe is the girl herself. And where, you may ask, amid such plenty, can our object of passion be found? The eyes deceived by love's smart camouflage. He was herding his cattle on Mount Gargarus, the highest peak of Ida, when Hermes, accompanied by Hera and Athene and Aphrodite, delivered the golden apple and Zeus's message. Paris, since you are as handsome as you are wise in affairs of the heart, Zeus commands you to judge which of these goddesses is the fairest. So be it, sighed Paris. So be it, sighed Paris. But first, I beg the losers not to be vexed with me. I am only human. I am only a human being, liable to make the stupidest mistakes. The goddesses all agreed to abide by his decision. Will it be enough to judge them as they are? Paris asked Hermes, or should they be naked? The rules of the contest are for you to decide, Hermes answered with a discreet smile. In that case, will they kindly disrobe? Hermes told the goddesses to do so, and politely turned his back. Aphrodite was soon ready, but Athene insisted that she should remove the famous magic girdle, which gave her an unfair advantage by making everyone fall in love with the wearer. Damn, why them words so close together? Very well, said Aphrodite, spitefully. I will, on condition that you remove your helmet. You look hideous without it. Now, if you please, I must judge you one at a time, announced Paris. Come here, divine Hera. Will you other two goddesses be good enough to leave us for a while? Examine me conscientiously, said Hera, turning slowly around and displaying her magnificent figure. And remember that if you judge me the fairest, I will make you lord of all of Asia and the richest man alive. I am not to be bribed, my lady. Very well, thank you. Now I have seen all that I need to see. Come, divine Athene. Here I am, said Athene, striding purposefully forward. Listen, Paris, if you have enough common sense to award me the prize, I will make you victorious in all your battles, as well as the handsomest and wisest man in the world. I am humble, herdsman. I am a humble herdsman, not a soldier, said Paris. But I promise to consider fairly your claim to the apple. Now you are at liberty to put on your clothes and helmet again. Is Aphrodite ready? Aphrodite sidled up to him, sidled up to him, and Paris blushed because she came so close that they were almost touching. Look carefully, please. Pass nothing over. By the way, as soon as I saw you, I said to myself, upon my word, there goes the handsomest young man in Phrygia. Why does he waste himself here in the wilderness herding stupid cattle? Well, why do you, Paris? Why not move into a city and lead a civilized life? What have you to lose by marrying someone like Helen of Sparta, who is also as beautiful as I am, and no less passionate? I suggest now that you tour Greece with my son Eros as your guide. Once you reach Sparta, he and I will see that Helen falls head over heels in love with you. Would you swear to that? Paris asked excitedly. Aphrodite uttered a solemn oath, and Paris, without a second thought, awarded her the golden apple. Damn. That was deep. That was a cold little story right there. Your next encounter will be with the sirens, who bewitch every man that approaches them. For with the music of their song, the sirens cast their spell upon him, as they sit there in a meadow, piled high with the moldering skeletons of men, whose weathered skin still hangs upon their bones. Sheesh. Well, thank y'all for tuning in with your boy. You know what I'm saying? It's part 2, the end of part 2. Next, we're going to be doing the rake. Basically, the male version of the siren. You know what I'm saying? Knock that out. Thanks. Like, subscribe. Keep coming in. Give me some views. Rock with your boy. Roll it up. Baked up. Let's keep going, man.